Hey, and welcome back to the channel, folks. Today I want to share with you a little project I did a couple months ago. Now it's a little bit of a departure from our traveling and food and drinking adventures, but to me, I feel this one's equally as important. I live in Florida, so we're prone to hurricanes, thunderstorms. If Mother Nature cries a little bit, we're going to lose power here. In those times, it's very important that you have a plan or a backup plan, and that's what this comes into. I bought a power station a few months ago, and it's a form of backup energy. For those of you that are not familiar with a power station, think of it as a car battery. Basically, you can hook a couple cables up to it and you can charge your phone, run some small appliances off of, just your creature comforts. By owning a power station, you will never lose power during outages. A power station keeps your devices, fridge, and essentials running. It's portable, rechargeable, and perfect for camping or emergencies, giving you control when the grid fails. So by having this, I figured when the power goes out, I'll have a backup plan so I can charge my phone, hook a radio up to it, keep my refrigerator running. That's a big one. Last year we had a storm and the power was out for about 5 or 6 days. Lost a lot of food that way. So this is kind of a fail-safe against that as well. After I got the power station installed in the house, or by me installing it is what I mean, I figured, let me try something a little bit different and add to it. So I hooked up a couple solar panels to it. And then that's where the real benefit comes in at. And that's what I learned, that by adding solar panels to your power station, you have pretty much an unlimited amount of energy for certain periods of the day. Now, the way I applied this to my living situation is I hooked my refrigerator and Wi-Fi up to it. Now, if you think about it, folks, your Wi-Fi and your refrigerator run 24 hours a day. So it's constantly using up electric. And the electric, depending on where you're located at, you're charged different prices through peak periods and non-peak periods. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to use the solar power to charge the power station during the peak periods, so all that's free energy, run my appliances, the fridge and the Wi-Fi 24 hours a day, and then if the power station gets low before the next power cycle, the solar cycle charges, then I can plug it into the outlet and run it for 1 hour, which will recharge. So I go from using 24 hours a day electric to only 1 hour a day of electric. Now you think that sounds awesome. It's not a big savings. For me, it's about $7 to $8 a month, which over the course of a year is almost $100. That's probably about 3 happy hours. So if you think of everything in terms of savings as happy hours, then it makes sense. Would you rather give 3 happy hours to the electric company, or would you rather have 3 happy hours yourselves? Me? I know the answer to that one. I decided from the power station, it's gonna be right above the fridge. Now, most of us have that awkward cabinet that's really good for nothing because you can't reach it. That is the ideal placement for my power station. Now, for my power station choice, I decided to go with the Bluetti. Now, it's 55 pounds, which I feel is kind of heavy for my cabinet, but it does manage to hold without having to reinforce the cabinet, and it fits in the space I need it. Now that I've located the spot for the power station, now I just need to run power up to it. So I used the outlet that was directly behind the refrigerator, and I ran a line right up into the cabinet. That way it's the power source for the power station. While I was doing that, I also added another outlet directly above the original outlet, and that comes down from the power station to behind the refrigerator, so I can plug the refrigerator into that outlet, and it just runs 100% off of the power station. For the love of God, will you please wake up? I get it. This video is boring, and I understand. I made it. So remember, the concept behind this video, it's not for fun. It's for informative information and save you money so we can do more happy hours together. So keep that in mind. All right, so with that being said, we've seen what I've done on the inside. Now let's take a real quick look on the outside. So a few years ago, I made this barbecue pit area. I live in a townhouse, so my backyard is very small, but after the screen room addition, I was left with this space. And it's about 8 foot wide by about maybe 15 foot long. So I ended up making this barbecue area, and if you look, the pergola up top was all open, But it left me with quite a bit of real estate. So I figured, what can I do? How can I make that different? So in a nutshell, what I did was I added the plexiglass to cover it in. So it also made it waterproof. So the barbecue area is now waterproof, so I can actually cook out in a thunderstorm. But what I did is I added these mounting brackets for solar panels. And these are the Renogy solar panels. Now I added 2 of them up here. Each one's about 200 watts. Do they generate that? Not necessarily, but sometimes they get pretty close. Okay, just to show you what I did, I ran the Renogy extension cords into a waterproof box. It's just an extra step that I did. Not really need it since the cords are waterproof. But again, here in Florida, we get storms, wind, hurricanes. You never know if a tree branch would come down and there might be a chance of splicing the cords. So the box is just going to protect against that. Again, an extra step, but I think it's well worth it. From there, I ran the Renogy extension cords all the way through a PVC tubing. Again, a little bit extra, which I really didn't need to do since they are waterproof, but again, we have hurricanes here and you never know if a tree limb is going to come down and hit it or whatnot. And ran that all the way through the wall. To get the cords to the power station, I drilled a hole through the wall. I believe it was a 1/4-inch hole. Ran the 2 power cords through, sealed the hole with silicone, ran the cords up through the cabinet, all along the top of the cabinets, down through the cabinet to the power station. The cords are nicely tucked away and out of sight, out of mind. Hey, hang with me, folks. We have one small segment to go and we are done. But this next segment is all about the app, and it shows you in real time how you're doing, how you're recharging, and how you're saving on electric. One small segment and we'll get back to having fun. So this is a real-time view of my app for my power station. Those of you that are not familiar with it, I'll go through everything. Right in the center of your screen, it's saying that the power station has 66% battery power left. Now, I intentionally ran this down overnight so that way we could get a good understanding rather than it just saying 100%. At the top left of the screen, that's going to be solar power. That means energy coming in and repowering the power station. Right now it's at 0 because I do not have that hooked up. On the top right, it's going to be the energy coming in from the outlet. So you plug it into your 110 outlet and then it'll also power up the power station. That right now is at 0 because I don't have that plugged in either. This is strictly running off the power station. On the bottom left corner, that's going to be for my DC outlets on the power station. So basically that's going to charge things like your cell phone cords, your cameras, whatnot, anything with a DC power. And on the bottom right, it's lit up in orange. That's going to be basically my outlet. That's right now what my power station is powering. Right now I have it hooked up to the fridge. So it's powering the fridge 100%. And it's hooked up to my Wi-Fi and it's powering that. Now just see, it's pulling right now 127 watts. That means the fridge is running. It is typically trying to cool down. And then about 15 watts are from the internet. So as of right now, my fridge and my Wi-Fi power are 100% free. It's not pulling any power from the grid, meaning your outlets. It's pulling 100% of its power to run in the stored energy of the power station. So to give you an idea of what it's going to look like running off the power grid, meaning your outlets, I'll plug the power station into the main power. Okay, so now you see the top right circle lit up green. That means it's pulling power from the main outlet. 1.4 kilowatts it's pulling. So that now is pulling power from the outlet into the power station and it's repowering the power station. Now I just scrolled down and you can see that the estimated charging time is 30 minutes. So basically, if I keep it up to the main power, it's going to charge from 66%, which is already up to 67, all the way to 100% in 30 minutes. Now you can also see down right below that, I saved so far $7 this month just by running it off that, which $7 isn't a big savings, but at the same time, if you extend that out through the year and into several years, it turns into a little bit of money. I mean, that's fun money that we could be using rather than just giving it to the power company. Now scrolling back up, you can see the fridge just went into hibernation mode, so to speak. I guess it's cooled down now. The interior temperature is where it needs to be, so it turned off. And now I'm just pulling 17 watts from the internet. Now to give you an idea, power's off, so we're not bringing in any power, but in just that short period of time, we went up 2%. We're still pulling watts from the internet. And you can see now, just running the internet, it's gonna run for 99 hours, basically 100 hours. So I can run the internet for 100 hours for free, basically on what the power station is putting out. So now this is where it gets interesting. Back on the main screen. So it's a little bit cloudy out right now here. But now the solar panels are kicking in and they're pulling in 68 watts. So again, you can see the internet is pulling 17 watts, 15 watts going out now, bringing in 67 watts. So now that we have the main power turned off at the breaker, we have nothing coming into the house. I've backflowed the power station into the outlet, so now it's potentially charging the whole entire house. So for example, we've got 286 watts coming in from solar. We've got 173 watts going out. Now, that's going to be, right now, the only thing I have running is the fridge, which is cycling, the internet. I have some digital screens that are running that draw minimal power. Right now, we're drawing 194 watts, bringing in 240. So let's stretch a little bit. Let's say we turn on a light. The power's out and we need a light. So now we have a light running. Now that bumped us up to 225 watts and the sun is going through some clouds. So we dropped a little bit, 204. So it's almost a push right now. So now we have the refrigerator, the Wi-Fi, some digital screens and a light. So let's say we turn on a TV. So we're at 300, about 300 watts, 295 watts right now. So now we're watching TV while the power's out. Let's say the house gets a little hot and we turn on a ceiling fan. No big draw from the ceiling fan. That's surprising. Figured we'd get about another 15, 20 watts out of that. But as you can see, as of right now, we're not quite in full sun, but we have pretty good sun going on. 311 watts coming in. 308 watts going out. Okay, so we're out of power. There's a thunderstorm going on. We have our fridge working. We have our Wi-Fi working. We have our TV on. We have lights on. We have the ceiling fan on. Let's say the power's been out for a little while and we're getting hungry. Let's turn on the microwave and see what the microwave does. There, we got the microwave going. Wow, that's a big draw. So that brought us up to 2,000 kilowatts. So that will be a big draw, and I have it on set for a minute right now. So there's no way the sun would be able to keep up with that, but on the bright side, it's only for a minute, and you can see the draw is not too bad. We're down to 66%, and we're eating food. So the rest of our neighbors are without power. We have our fridge going, we have our Wi-Fi going, we got our TV going, we got a ceiling fan going, and we're making some food in the microwave. So not too bad, I would say. Hallelujah. We have made it through to the end of the video, folks. Thank you so much for sticking with me. A little bit of a tough one, as it's not exciting, not as much fun as we normally have, but I felt it was equally as important. Hopefully you got a few tips out of this, save yourself a little bit of money every month, and add a happy hour or two to your life. Comment down in the links below. Let me know what you think about it, or if this is something you could do, or if you have an even better idea. I would love to hear it. Until next time, folks, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.